Hi, my name is Becca. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and if not, welcome back. I'm a secular homeschooling mama to 3 small kiddos. Today we're going to chat about how we homeschool for preschool. Now, I am not the traditional person where I'm going to tell you to buy a curriculum. I do not buy any curriculum for my preschooler. I do not see any real significant benefit for that for our family. When we had my oldest doing preschool content, it was very much at his pace when he wanted to do it, and we didn't push anything on him. Preschool doesn't have to look like what we have been programmed to think, where a child is sitting at a table and doing worksheets. For our preschool, we focus on more of a Montessori-ish approach, meaning everything we do is child-led, and we look at the development level of that child and their age, and we also look at what interests them the most. An example of this would be when my son was 3, he was really into painting and really into cutting things. So we set up an environment that allowed him to be able to paint and use scissors in a safe way when he wanted to. We would set out different pieces of paper and we would just allow him to cut the paper the way that he wanted to, and the older he got, we would draw different lines on the paper to see if he could follow the lines. We would have painting set up so that he could do painting with or without paintbrushes, and allowed him the freedom to be able to do that when he wanted to. Another thing that we did for preschool type learning was matching. In Montessori, they have a basket where they will put different types of socks out in the basket that are unfolded, and they match the socks together. And the older they get, they can learn to roll those inside. That was a preschool activity that we did for our homeschool when my son was at that age. When it comes to more of math, we would just constantly show him and repeat things over and over again. If he were to show me some Legos, we would say, "Oh, cool. How many Legos did you use to build that tower? Let's count them together." And we would count them over and over again. Now, if he showed me something else, I'd be like, "Cool. You have 3 dinosaurs. 1, 2, 3. 3 dinosaurs. That's awesome." That was how we incorporated math. When we did our letters, we did a phonetics approach, just like in Montessori. So we did not teach him A, B, C, D. We would go, that is A, B, K, D. And we would use that so that way whenever we were to start reading, we built on top of, we added that knowledge that he already had into learning how to read. And that made that transition a lot easier for my son. There's other things that you could do with books. My son has always been really good with learning through literature. One example that I can think of that my son did was we were learning about feelings. He had a really hard time, as most toddlers do, with the feeling he was having and connecting a name to it. So I bought him a book. I will link it down below. And it was just called the Feelings Book. And one of the pages had a fish in a bowl. And it said, sometimes I feel lonely. He asked me what lonely meant, and I said, lonely means that you're all by yourself and you have no one to play with. That's what lonely means. Well, and a few days later, he was sitting in his car seat while we were driving, and he said, "Mommy, I feel like the fish." I said, "What do you mean, buddy?" And he said, "I feel like the fish in that book." I said, "Oh, you feel lonely?" And he goes, "Yeah, can you hold my hand?" So when we do our schooling, especially in the preschool years, we read books over and over and over again. And I try to pick books on stuff like feelings to really be able to help him. We have this one book for letters. Like I had mentioned, we teach it phonetically. And in this book, it had tracing to do for the letters throughout the whole book. And then it would have pictures of examples of things that started with that letter. I can leave that one linked down below. Anything I mention, I'll link down below. The Target Dollar Spot, or Bullseye's Playground, whatever they're calling it these days, that is a wealth of resources, especially at the beginning of the school year. When my son was doing preschool, they actually had a Montessori sandbox where there'd just be a little box with just enough sand to cover the bottom and flashcards with letters. We picked that up. I laminated all the letters so that the cards didn't get, worn down or ruined. And he would look at the picture and he would trace the letter in the sand. You could do other things too, like sandpaper flashcards. That's another great resource. But it's just teaching a child how to do beginning writing and stuff with their finger as opposed to holding an actual pencil. Once they've kind of grasped that and they have more of that hand-eye coordination, you could buy something like a writing board to be able to do that. And that has a little stylus that you can use to trace the letters on the board. And that would be another great option if your child is ready for that point. So for preschool for us, it just looks like very easy life skills, such as what Montessori kind of teaches. It's lots of outside time, lots of life practical living, allowing them to help us when we're cooking or cleaning something, setting their environment up in a way that is very easy for them to be able to access things and help teach them through play. So if you are wanting to homeschool your children and right now your child is right around a preschool age, don't feel the need that you have to go out and purchase that curriculum. If that's something you feel like you need something additional, you can certainly do that, but don't feel like it's a necessity in order to homeschool for a preschooler. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. Hit that subscribe button. I post 2 videos like this every week, all about homeschool related content. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.